Welcome back, Fifth Act viewers. Today, we plunge into a story woven from threads of betrayal, the raw instinct for survival, and the unforgiving, steel-gray heart of the concrete jungle. If you're new here, if you crave the unvarnished truth hidden beneath layers of deceit, then hit that subscribe button now and join our growing community of truth seekers. Prepare yourselves, the shadows are about to deepen. The relentless drumming of rain lashes against the few remaining broken skylights high above, each downpour sending rivulets of water cascading down the grime-streaked panes. Fractured, ethereal light, tinted a sickly green by the urban glow outside, slices through the oppressive darkness, painting sharp, shifting patterns across the tense, determined faces of a four-person tactical team. The air hangs heavy with the scent of damp concrete, decay, and the metallic tang of unspoken tension. Alex, Specter, Riley, 30s, stands at the forefront, his frame lean and coiled, a predator's grace in his movements. His sharp, intelligent eyes, the color of tempered steel, scan the skeletal beams of the warehouse, missing nothing. A thin, almost imperceptible scar just above his left eyebrow adds a rugged edge to his otherwise chiseled features, a silent testament to past battles. He checks the suppressor on his rifle with practiced ease, the soft click echoing in the vast space. His jaw is set, a thin line of grim determination. Behind him, Chloe, Ghost, Reed, 20s, moves with a quick, almost preternatural agility. She's a tech specialist, her fingers dancing across the illuminated screen of her tablet. The faint, cool glow from the device casts a pallid light on her face, highlighting the deep furrow in her brow as she sifts through data. Her eyes, usually bright with playful mischief, are narrowed in intense concentration, betraying a quiet anxiety. Marcus, Hammer, Thorne, a man built like a fortress, his broad shoulders seeming to absorb the weight of the world, offers Specter a silent, knowing nod. His face, etched with the lines of countless campaigns, is a mask of grim resolve. He's the veteran presence, the anchor, and his quiet strength is a palpable force in the room. He checks his sidearm, the well-worn leather of its holster creaking softly. Across from them, Liam, Wraith, Jenkins, 20s, is a bundle of barely contained energy. He's younger, eager to prove himself, but a tremor of nervous anticipation betrays his inexperience. He meticulously double-checks his comms, tapping the earpiece repeatedly, as if trying to physically force a stronger signal. His eyes dart around, wide and a little too bright, betraying a raw vulnerability.
Alex, his voice a low, intense whisper, cutting through the drumming rain. All right, team, listen up. Intel says our target, KL, is holed up in the sublevel, moving high-value data. Think encrypted schematics, deep-state secrets, the kind of intel that could burn a country down. Minimal resistance expected, but we treat every minimal as an ambush waiting to happen. Ghost, you got those schematics locked in? Tapping furiously at her tablet, the faint blue-white glow from the screen illuminating the tense lines of her face. A small, confident smile, fleeting but genuine, plays on her lips as she finds the data she needs. Confirm, Spectre. Got 'em pulled up. 2 primary entry points to the sublevel from here. Main freight elevator, that's a no-go, heavily secured, probably booby-trapped to hell. Or the service tunnel. Less visible, off the grid. Taking the tunnel is our best bet for a clean insertion. Her fingers continue to dance across the screen, a blur of motion, her focus absolute. His voice, a low, gravelly rumble, like stones shifting in a riverbed. Less visible also means less escape routes if things go south. And minimal resistance means they're either stupid or setting a trap. You got eyes on those backups, Wraith? Don't want to be caught dead in the water if comms drop. His gaze is steady, searching for any sign of hesitation in the younger man. Affirmative, Hammer. External comms are open, green-lighted for exfil request. I've got us linked to orbital and a drone feed on a loop for perimeter monitoring. No unusual activity detected on the perimeter. Yet. He glances nervously towards the rain-streaked, darkened entrance of the warehouse, his eyes wide, a flicker of apprehension dancing within them. He swallows hard, trying to moisten a suddenly dry throat. A sudden, sharp crack of a sniper rifle, impossibly loud, echoes from somewhere outside, followed instantly by the chilling shattering of glass from a distant window. The sound is like a physical blow, jolting them all. The team instinctively drops, movements fluid and practiced, weapons raised, scanning for the source of the threat. The quiet confidence that had permeated the air shatters like the glass. Alex, his voice tight with sudden raw urgency, cutting through the renewed drumming of the rain. Contact, not minimal resistance. Wraith, get us a sit rep, now. His eyes, usually so calm, are wide with a sudden chilling realization. He presses himself low, rifle aimed at the entrance. Liam fumbles with his comms, his fingers suddenly clumsy, his eyes wide with a blossoming fear. "Sir, comms are jammed. We're cut off." His voice is barely a choked whisper, laced with a desperate panic. The green light on his comms unit blinks red, a stark, terrifying warning. More gunfire erupts, closer this time, a frantic, rattling burst of automatic weapon fire. Tracer rounds rip through the thin metal of the warehouse walls, piercing the air with a terrifying whine, leaving glowing trails as they tear through the space where the team had been moments before. Sparks fly as bullets ricochet off concrete and steel. Shouting over the deafening din, her voice laced with a rising panic, a desperate edge that wasn't there moments ago. "They knew we were coming! This isn't KL's usual MO! This is an ambush!" Her head snaps up, eyes wide, darting from one shattered window to another. Her fingers, usually so precise, tremble slightly as she clutches her tablet. A dark, cylindrical object skids across the grimy floor, smoke billowing from its base, leaving a phosphorescent trail. It spins just yards from them. Marcus yelling, his voice a guttural roar, his face a mask of grim resolve, every muscle in his body tensed. "Grenade! Clear out, now!" Without hesitation, he shoves Chloe with surprising force towards a massive, reinforced concrete pillar, shielding her with his own body. He throws himself towards her, trying to cover her. The explosion rocks the entire building, a deafening, concussive blast that rattles teeth and vibrates through bone. A wave of superheated air rushes outwards, throwing debris, chunks of concrete, twisted metal, splintered wood everywhere. The air fills with dust and the acrid smell of cordite. Alex is thrown violently against a cold, unforgiving concrete wall, his head hitting with a sickening thud. A blinding flash of pain explodes behind his eyes. Darkness threatens to consume him, a swirling vortex at the edge of his vision. Through the agonizing, high-pitched ringing in his ears, a sound like 1,000 angry wasps, he hears screams. Chloe's, sharp and terrified. Then Marcus's, a guttural cry of pain. He tries to push himself up, his muscles protesting, his vision blurring, fragmented, like looking through shattered glass. He sees a shadowy figure, tall and menacing, not Kale, but someone else entirely, standing over Liam. There's a cold, metallic glint in their hand, catching the flickering light from the fires now starting to smolder. Liam's eyes, wide and unseeing, stare blankly into the chaotic flickering light, a single tear track visible on his dust-streaked cheek. No, no. He struggles, his limbs heavy, like lead. He tries to reach out, to warn them, to fight, but his body refuses to obey. A heavy, leather-clad boot connects with his temple, a final, brutal impact. The world tilts, spins, and then, mercifully, plunges into absolute, suffocating blackness. The mission went sideways. The team annihilated, butchered in the heart of the concrete jungle. But one survivor remains, one ghost in the machine. What happened? Who knew? And what will Specter do to uncover the truth, to avenge the fallen, when the very ground beneath him feels like quicksand?
Last time on Concrete Jungle Fallout, a tactical mission went catastrophically wrong. Specter's team, his family in arms, was decimated in a brutal, calculated ambush. Now, against all odds, he awakens in the very heart of that wreckage, the sole survivor of a nightmare. The echoes of betrayal reverberate in the silence, leaving him with a single burning purpose. If you're ready to witness him rise from the ashes, to see a force of vengeance forged in fire, then ensure you're subscribed to the 5th act. The hunt has just begun. The monotonous, mournful drip of water from a broken pipe echoing in the vast, empty space. The distant, almost ethereal wail of sirens, a reminder of a world that continues, oblivious to the personal apocalypse within these walls. The faint, unsettling creak and shift of settling rubble, as if the very building is groaning in pain. Alex groans, a low, guttural sound torn from deep within his chest. A jolt of searing pain shoots through his head, a blinding white flash behind his eyes that makes him clench his jaw. He blinks, slowly, painfully, his eyelids feeling heavy, crusted. The world resolves itself into a blurry, distorted mess of shattered concrete and twisted skeletal metal, the grotesque aftermath of an explosion. Dust motes, thick as a fog, dance in the weak, pale sunlight that filters in through jagged gaps in the corrugated iron roof, casting eerie, shifting spotlights on the devastation. He's lying amidst the treacherous rubble, every hard edge biting into his already bruised body. A menacing piece of rebar, its end sharp and rusted, rests uncomfortably close to his face, a grim reminder of how close he came to an even more permanent end. He pushes himself up, a monumental effort that makes every muscle scream in protest. A wave of dizziness washes over him, and he has to brace himself against a leaning steel beam, his knuckles white with strain. His hand instinctively goes to his side, probing. When he pulls it back, it's sticky, glistening with a dark crimson stain. A deep, jagged gash runs along his flank, the fabric of his tactical uniform ripped and soaked through. He rips a piece of still intact fabric from his uniform, his movements stiff and uncoordinated, and ties it clumsily around the wound, a makeshift bandage against the persistent seep of blood. He bites back a cry of pain, his jaw tight. His eyes, still a little unfocused, but sharpening with growing horror, sweep across the devastation. The warehouse, once a place of tense anticipation, is now a graveyard.
His gaze falls first on Marcus, lying still near a collapsed wall, his massive frame oddly shrunken in death. His eyes are open, staring up at the broken skylight, empty and unseeing, reflecting only the desolate sky. A silent testament to a life brutally extinguished. Then, his eyes find Chloe. She's slumped over her shattered tablet, her slender fingers still curled around the device. A faint, final glow emanates from the cracked screen, a dying ember of the digital world she's so masterfully commanded. Her face, usually so animated, is still and ashen. And Liam, Alex's eyes search frantically, desperately for the younger man, a sliver of hope, however irrational, clinging to the edge of his consciousness. But there's no body. Only a dark, expanding stain on the concrete marks where he was. A chilling void. The brutal, undeniable realization washes over Alex like a cold wave. He's the only one left. The sole survivor. A cold, hard knot forms in his stomach, tightening with each breath, a mixture of profound grief and a terrifying isolation. Alex. His voice is raw, choked, barely a whisper, as if speaking too loudly would shatter the fragile silence. Ghost, Hammer, Wraith, no. The names are torn from him, imbued with an agony that transcends words. His breath hitches, a jagged sob catching in his throat. His face contorts, a twisted mask of unbearable grief and an icy, simmering fury. He struggles to compose himself, to push down the wave of emotion. With a trembling hand, he reaches out and gently closes Marcus's wide, vacant eyes. A silent, solemn promise passing between them. A vow for justice, for remembrance. He stumbles towards Chloe's body, his gaze fixed, mesmerized, on the shattered tablet still clutched in her hand. He pries it from her cold grasp, the plastic surprisingly resistant. The screen is a spiderweb of cracks, but with a few desperate taps, his fingers clumsy but driven, a single, distorted image flickers into view. It's a company logo he doesn't recognize. A stylized falcon caught in mid-flight, with a cruel, sharp arrow piercing its heart. Underneath, faint, barely legible text, Orion Dynamics. And then, a fleeting, almost imperceptible glimpse of an internal memo. A few words standing out in the digital static. Operation Chimera. The screen fizzles, then dies completely. The last connection to her gone. Alex, whispering, his voice laced with dawning dread, his eyes narrowed, dissecting the unfamiliar name. Orion Dynamics. What the hell were you into, Ghost? The whisper is laced with a chilling resolve. A new target, emerging from the shadows. His mind races, a whirlwind of fragmented thoughts. This wasn't Kyle. This was too clean, too professional, too devastating. Kyle was a small-time data broker, a glorified thief. This was something else, something infinitely bigger, infinitely more dangerous. Orion Dynamics. The name resonates. A multinational tech and security conglomerate, whispered in hushed tones in the shadowy corners of the world, rumored to be involved in everything from cutting-edge AI to covert operations. The ambush wasn't about the data Kyle was moving. It was about silencing them, eliminating loose ends, erasing their very existence. His jaw tightens, a muscle twitching violently beneath his scarred skin. The throbbing pain in his head, the persistent ache from the wound in his side, they don't hinder him. Instead, they fuel a cold, relentless resolve, sharpening his focus, hardening his purpose. His voice hardens, a low, dangerous growl, a steely glint appearing in his eyes, reflecting the shattered light. They left me for dead. Big mistake. The biggest. He finds a discarded, half-melted comms unit from his pack, miraculously still somewhat intact, though singed. He tries to power it on, desperate for a link to the outside world. Nothing. The screen remains stubbornly blank. With a roar of frustration, he smashes it against the ground, the plastic shattering with a pathetic crunch. He needs a way out, and he needs answers, desperately. He glances around the ruined warehouse, his eyes scanning, searching for anything useful, any tool, any clue, amidst the widespread destruction. A glint of metal catches his eye under a pile of twisted debris. A small, personal data stick, barely visible, almost missed, tucked away beneath a broken piece of concrete. Chloe's, perhaps? A lifeline she left behind. He pockets it, a flicker of fragile hope amidst the overwhelming despair. Awakening in a nightmare of concrete and loss, Specter finds a crucial clue, a breadcrumb leading into the heart of darkness. Orion Dynamics. The name hangs heavy in the dust-choked air, a new enemy emerging from the shadows, far more formidable than Kyle. His mission has irrevocably changed, from extraction to survival, and from duty to vengeance. The concrete jungle has claimed his team, but it won't claim him, not while he still breathes.
Specter, a shadow amidst the ruins, carries not only the crushing weight of his fallen team, but also the volatile secret of Orion Dynamics. Every breath is a struggle, every heartbeat a reminder of what he's lost. But the city itself is a vast, intricate trap, its broken facade hiding unseen eyes. He's not alone. He's hunted. To follow his every perilous move, to witness his relentless pursuit of vengeance, make sure you're subscribed to The Fifth Act. The hunt for answers has just begun. A symphony of urban decay, the distant, erratic crackle of gunfire, sounding like firecrackers in the disemboweled city. The jarring, mournful wail of car alarms, triggered by unseen tremors, fading in and out like dying cries. Alex's ragged breathing, harsh and shallow, close to the mic. The subtle, unnerving creak and crumbling of debris, as if the city itself is slowly collapsing. Alex moves like a phantom through the skeletal remains of what was once a bustling cityscape. The very air feels thick with dust and the acrid scent of burnt metal. Skyscrapers stand gouged open, their glass eyes shattered, revealing twisted rebar and concrete intestines. Streets are choked with overturned, burnt-out vehicles, their hulks like beached whales, and immense piles of rubble, monuments to sudden, devastating violence. He moves with a predatory stealth, a low crouch that speaks of years of training and a primal need for survival. His eyes, narrowed and constantly scanning, dart from shadow to shadow, assessing every potential threat, every possible escape route. His injured side, crudely bandaged, aches with a deep, persistent throb with every step. A dull, nagging fire beneath his ribs. But he pushes through the pain, fueled by a potent cocktail of adrenaline and a burning, singular need for answers and retribution. Alex, internal monologue, his voice grim, a low rasp of thought in his head. They think I'm dead. Good. Let them think that. It gives me an edge. A ghost is harder to catch than a soldier. A flash of memory, vivid and agonizing, cuts through the grim reality. He sees a training exercise bathed in the warm glow of a distant past. Chloe, laughing, her hair flying as she easily disabled a complex security system, her fingers a blur on the console, her eyes alight with mischief and genius. Then Marcus, his massive hand resting gently on Alex's shoulder, imparting wisdom about urban warfare, his voice a low rumble filled with the weight of experience. Always keep an exit, Specter, always. And Liam, nervously but proudly, hitting a perfect target shot, his face breaking into a wide, boyish grin, so eager to prove himself. The memories are sharp, painful, a barbed wire fence around his heart. But paradoxically, they strengthen his resolve, hardening the steel in his spine. They aren't just memories. They're the fuel for his vengeance. Suddenly, a distant, high-pitched whine slices through the oppressive silence, growing rapidly louder. It's a sound Alex knows, but this one is different. He immediately drops, a trained reflex, flattening himself behind a massive collapsed bus, its windows blown out, its interior a twisted wreck. He pulls his tattered uniform tighter around him, trying to make himself smaller, invisible. He peers cautiously through a broken window. A sleek, black drone, unlike any military recon he's ever seen, hovers briefly over a distant, partially collapsed building. Its multiple optical lenses glowing with an eerie blue light, constantly scanning, searching. Its movements are too fluid, too precise for standard issue.
Orion's toys. Probably. High-end surveillance. They're not looking for survivors. They're cleaning up loose ends. A cold realization washes over him. Communication is impossible. His own comms unit is dead, a worthless chunk of melted plastic. Civilian networks, once ubiquitous, are offline or thoroughly compromised, probably by the very people hunting him. He's truly isolated, a single flickering flame in a hurricane. The silence of the city, broken only by the persistent wind whistling through broken buildings and the distant echoes of conflict, feels suffocating, a vacuum designed to swallow him whole. His eyes continue their relentless scan. He spots an abandoned newsstand, its brightly colored papers scattered like fallen leaves across the grimy pavement. He moves towards it, his movements fluid despite his injuries. He picks one up, the headline blurred by grime and water damage. City under siege. Unrest escalates. A small sidebar catches his eye, chilling him to the bone, its words a cruel mockery. Orion Dynamics providing humanitarian support to affected areas. Alex scoffs, a bitter, humorless laugh escaping him, harsh against the silent city. Humanitarian support. They didn't provide it. They started this. They were the architects of this devastation. The anger in him burns hotter, solidifying into a cold, hard resolve. He needs a secure line, a way to access what's on Chloe's data stick, the last piece of her, a potential key to everything. He needs a way to disappear from Orion's ever-watchful eyes. His mind races, sifting through old contacts, forgotten assets. He remembers an old contact, a fixer named Echo, a whisper in the underworld, who operated out of a forgotten, desolate corner of the city, a place where the concrete jungle truly swallowed its secrets whole. A long shot, a desperate gamble, but at this point, it's his only shot, the last card he holds. He continues to move, a ghost amidst the ruins, hugging the deepest shadows, blending with the debris, with the very fabric of the ruined city. He is a true ghost in the machine, every sense heightened, acutely aware that every shadow could hide an enemy, every distant sound a new, immediate threat. His expression is grim, determined, a silent promise to his fallen team etched onto his face. The hunt has begun. Voiceover, building tension, a sense of impending confrontation. The city is a tomb, its silence a constant reminder of loss, and Specter is its lone mourner, hunted relentlessly by the very forces that orchestrated his team's demise. His only hope, his desperate gamble, lies in a forgotten contact, an elusive whisper named Echo, deep within the belly of this beast of a city. But will he reach Echo? Will he find the help he so desperately needs before Orion's drones, their cold, unblinking eyes, find him first? The clock is ticking.
Specter, a wounded phantom in a city of ghosts, now seeks refuge and answers in the labyrinthine heart of the shattered metropolis. But in this concrete jungle, trust is a dangerous luxury he can't afford. Every shadow hides a secret, every whispered word a potential trap. You won't want to miss the chilling truth he uncovers next. Subscribe to the 5th act and witness the unveiling of a conspiracy that reaches into the highest echelons of power. The distant hum of urban decay, a constant, low thrum beneath the fractured silence. The faint, rhythmic hum of old machinery like a sleeping beast. Alex's cautious footsteps, measured and deliberate, echoing softly on rough-hewn stone. The almost imperceptible whir of cooling fans from ancient servers. Alex descends into a dimly lit, damp subterranean chamber, the air thick with the smell of dust, ozone, and old electronics. The oppressive weight of the earth above feels both stifling and strangely comforting, a temporary shield from the open, dangerous world outside. This isn't just a room, it's a makeshift command center, a digital warren filled with the hypnotic blinking lights of servers, their fans whirring softly. Monitors, their screens displaying cryptic lines of code, cast an eerie phosphorescent glow. An array of antiquated radios, a testament to a bygone era of analog communication, sits on a cluttered workbench. Echo 50, a man whose face tells 1,000 stories, looks up from a delicate soldering iron. His sharp, cynical eyes, the color of sea glass, pierce through the gloom, dissecting Alex with a single, unreadable gaze. His fingers are stained with circuit dust and grime, a testament to countless hours spent coaxing life from dead technology. A stark, jagged scar runs across his bald scalp, a permanent reminder of a past confrontation. In his hand, he holds a crude, rusty wrench, not as a tool, but with the casual menace of a weapon. His voice gruff, raspy, laced with a potent mix of suspicion and weary resignation. "Well, well, look what the war dragged in. Thought you were dead, Riley." He eyes Alex's torn uniform, the bloodied bandage on his side, his gaze lingering on the signs of recent violence. "Looks like you almost were." There's no pity in his voice, only a cold, hard assessment. Alex, his voice strained, a little rough, but remarkably steady, projecting an unwavering resolve. "I got out, Barely. Need your help, Echo. Secure line, access to a network, and something to patch this. He gestures to his wound, the fabric still dark with congealed blood, a grim testament to his escape. Echo slowly, deliberately lowers the wrench, the metal clanking softly against the workbench. He scrutinizes Alex's face, his eyes sharp, searching for any flicker of deceit, any hidden agenda. Alex meets his gaze directly, his own eyes burning with a raw, undeniable honesty, reflecting the profound grief and burning fury that fuel him. There's nothing to hide, nothing left to lose. He sighs, a sound that seems to carry the weight of countless lost battles, and drops the wrench onto the workbench with a final clang. Never liked your unit. Too clean, too many secrets, always operating in the shadows, leaving a trail of questions. What crawled out of the woodwork to chew you up this time? He gestures with his chin towards a cluttered shelf, indicating a surprisingly well-stocked medical kit. Patch yourself up. I'll get you a cup of something lukewarm. He turns back to his archaic setup, his fingers already hovering over a keyboard, the subtle click-clack of keys beginning to fill the silence. As Alex cleans and stitches his wound, his movements precise and efficient despite the throbbing pain, a testament to years of field training, Echo works on a vintage laptop. His fingers, surprisingly agile for their size, fly across the keyboard, a flurry of motion as he navigates ancient systems. Alex, gritting his teeth, a faint hiss escaping him as he sutures his skin, a grimace of pain twisting his features. Orion Dynamics. Heard of them? Echo pauses mid-keystroke, his fingers hovering over the keys, a statue carved from shadows and dust. His eyes narrow, a dangerous glint entering them, the cynical mask momentarily slipping. His voice drops, low and laced with a simmering venom, the name like a curse. Orion? The Peacekeepers? Yeah, heard of them. Too much. They're buying up everything. Governments, technology, intelligence, black ops, resource control, security solutions. A fancy word for mercenaries and corporate espionage. Nothing they don't have a finger in, nothing they won't corrupt. What about them? His facial expression is tight, a flicker of knowing dread in his eyes, as if the mention of the name has opened an old wound. Alex, finished with his rough patch-up, pulls out Chloe's data stick. His hand, despite his efforts to control it, trembles slightly as he holds the small device, the last tangible link to his fallen comrade. Handing over the stick, his voice dropping, imbued with the full weight of his loss and suspicion. This came from my tech specialist before she died. She found something big, a logo, Orion Dynamics, and something called Operation Chimera. Echo takes the data stick, his expression hardening, his features tightening into a mask of grim anticipation. He plugs it into a waiting terminal, its archaic ports surprisingly still functional. Lines of code, dense and complex, scroll rapidly across the screen, a dizzying cascade of symbols and commands. His eyes dart back and forth, a deep frown settling on his face, his brow furrowed in intense concentration as he deciphers the digital language. His voice barely a whisper now, filled with a dawning, terrifying disbelief, his eyes wide with the implications of what he's seeing. Chimera. I heard rumors, whispers in the deep net, a ghost in the system, a controlled collapse. They're engineering the chaos, Riley, not just cleaning it up, not just profiting from it. They're creating it.
His jaw clenches, a muscle ticking violently in his temple. Your mission wasn't a screw-up, it was a setup, a brutal, calculated deception. They needed you out of the way, all of you, witnesses removed. The bitter realization dawns on his face, mirroring Alex's own, a shared understanding of a monstrous betrayal. Alex feels a cold, consuming rage build within him, a silent inferno. His suspicions, once vague and terrifying, are now confirmed, amplified by Echo's chilling revelations. The truth is far worse, far more insidious than he ever imagined. He looks at Echo, his eyes no longer just burning with grief, but with a grim, unyielding resolve. The transformation from soldier to hunter complete. Alex, his voice flat, devoid of emotion, yet dangerously quiet. Then we expose them. Every last one. Voiceover, chilling, a promise of relentless pursuit. The truth unravels in the suffocating shadows of Echo's lair. Specter's team was sacrificed, not in a chaotic battle, but in a calculated deception, orchestrated by the ruthless hands of Orion Dynamics. The whispers of Operation Chimera echo now with a chilling, tangible promise of orchestrated chaos. The hunter, forged in the fires of betrayal, has found his prey. The game has changed.
Orion Dynamics has revealed its hand, their monstrous ambition laid bare, but they won't let Specter expose them, not after what he's seen. Now, the concrete jungle transforms into a deadly, intricate labyrinth, its every shadow a potential threat, and Specter is trapped inside, the walls closing in. Will he outsmart the relentless hunters, or will he become just another silenced whisper in the wind? Hit subscribe on the 5th act to find out if the hunter can become the hunted. Alex's cautious footsteps, light and precise, echoing eerily on broken concrete and shattered glass. The distant, indistinct murmur of voices carried on the wind. The rasping sound of Alex's ragged breathing, close and strained. A sudden, sharp crack of a gunshot, followed by the tinkling of falling glass. Alex, guided by Echo's hurried instructions via a crude, static-laced earpiece, navigates the skeletal remains of a high-rise. The building looms like a hollowed-out carcass against the bruised night sky, its interior a jagged silhouette. Moonlight, a pale, anemic glow, filters through countless blown-out windows, casting long, distorted shadows that dance and writhe, turning familiar shapes into monstrous specters. Every breath he takes is a silent prayer for his fallen comrades, a mantra of vengeance echoing in the hollow chambers of his mind. He moves with a predatory grace, his body a low crouch, a shadow within shadows, the air thick with dust and the metallic tang of decay. Echo, through calms, urgent, his voice a strained whisper fighting through static. Riley, they're on to you. Their drones just lit up Sector 7. They've found your approximate position. You've got 2 teams, heavily armed, moving in from east and west. Standard pincer movement. You're trapped, Specter. Dead end. Alex, whispering back, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs, his eyes darting, intensely scanning the oppressive darkness. Trapped is a mindset, Echo, a word for the weak. Where's my exit? Give me a whisper of a way out. His eyes are sharp, dissecting every shadow, every loose piece of rebar, every potential cover, searching for the one anomaly, the one weakness in their net. Echo, frantically typing on his end, the rapid click-clack of keys audible even through the static, his voice strained with urgency. Third floor, south side, there's a collapsed section. Looks like a sheer drop to the untrained eye, but I'm seeing an old service shaft. Small, tight. You'd have to free climb, Riley. No handholds, just friction and prayer. A distant, sharp crack of a rifle echoes through the night. The sound is impossibly close. A bullet shatters the glass just above Alex's head, sending a spray of icy shards raining down. He drops instantly, a trained reflex, pressing himself hard against a solid concrete pillar, the cold, rough surface biting into his cheek. Alex, snarling, a low growl of anger flaring in his eyes, transforming his face into a mask of grim fury. They're good, too good. How do they know my position this fast? They're moving like they have an active feed. He pulls a small, almost imperceptible, deactivated GPS tracker from a hidden reinforced pocket in his gear. It's not his, but one of Liam's, a standard-issue comm tracker he'd meticulously retrieved from the ambush site, a bitter memento. It pulses faintly, a tiny, almost imperceptible red light, confirming his terrifying suspicion. They planted a tracker on Liam. It's been active this whole time, probably pinging his last known location. Clever bastards, using my fallen team against me. His lips thin into a grim, dangerous line. The betrayal burns hotter than his wound.
Through comms, a grim, almost feral smile touching his lips, a spark of dangerous cunning in his eyes. Got an idea. Listen for an anomaly on that tracker's signal, Echo. A sudden, rapid ascent, then a lateral shift. I'm taking the shaft. Tell those Orion dogs to chase a ghost. Let them see what a real phantom can do. He scrambles towards the collapsed section, ignoring the throbbing pain in his side, the wound a distant hum compared to the roaring furnace of his resolve. He finds the narrow service shaft, a black void promising a terrifying descent. He takes a deep breath, the air thick with concrete dust and the metallic tang of his own fear and determination, and begins his descent. Hands scrambling for purchase, feet finding purchase on unseen edges. He hears shouting from above, distant but growing frantic, then the rapid thud of heavy footsteps. Orion Operative VO, distant, distorted, a shout echoing down the shaft. He's in the shaft! Move! 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 Don't let him get away! Alex grins, a feral glint in his eye, a predator savoring the hunt. He's not getting away. He's setting a trap, baiting them, drawing them into his game. He reaches the bottom, dropping soundlessly into a grimy, forgotten alleyway strewn with refuse. The sounds of pursuit are now distant, muffled, brilliantly diverted. He pulls out a small, preset explosive device he'd scavenged from a discarded demolition kit, quickly, expertly setting it against a crumbling wall. He attaches a trigger wire to a loose piece of debris strategically placed. Muttering to himself, his voice a low, menacing tone, a whisper of vengeance. Time to make some noise. A reminder of what happens when you hunt a phantom. He activates the explosive with a remote, his thumb pressing down with a cold satisfaction. A thunderous boom echoes through the alleyway, shaking the very ground beneath his feet, rattling his bones. Dust and debris rain down from above, a cascade of concrete and twisted metal. The sounds of panic erupt from the building above, shouts turning into confused yells, sirens wailing in the distance. He's created a perfect diversion and bought himself precious, fleeting time. He looks back at the smoking hole, his face grimly satisfied, a dangerous calm settling over him. Voiceover, resolute, a hint of dark triumph. Orion's hunters became the hunted, caught in Specter's cunning, desperate trap. The rules of the game have shifted, but this cat-and-mouse game has only just begun, its stakes measured in blood and betrayal. What crucial intel did Specter gain from this near-fatal encounter, and how will it change the game, pushing him closer to the heart of Orion's dark empire?
The battlefield has shifted. It's no longer just the brutal urban ruins, but the unseen, treacherous expanse of the digital realm. Specter and Echo, a desperate alliance, delve into the deepest, darkest corners of Orion Dynamics network. Every line of code, every encrypted file is a potential key to unlocking a truth that could shatter an empire. What chilling secrets will their digital footprints uncover? Make sure you're subscribed to the 5th act to bear witness to the shocking revelations. The rapid, rhythmic clicks of a keyboard, a relentless staccato against the silence. A low, constant data processing hum from the array of blinking servers. Echo muttering to himself, a stream of technical jargon interspersed with grunts of frustration and discovery. The occasional, jarring static burst from an old radio, quickly fading. The air in Echo's hideout is thick, almost suffocating, with a palpable tension and the stale, bitter smell of old coffee. Alex, his movements still stiff and a little clumsy from his bandaged side, but his gaze intensely focused, watches over Echo's shoulder. His own pain is a dull throb, overshadowed by the burning anticipation of answers. Lines of intricate code, a waterfall of green text, scroll relentlessly across multiple monitors. Each screen, a window into the digital abyss. Echo's fingers, stained with circuit dust, fly across the keyboard, a blur of motion. His face illuminated by the eerie, phosphorescent glow of the screen, highlighting the concentration etched into every line of his features. Chloe's data stick, the last tangible link to his fallen tech specialist, is plugged into a sophisticated, jury-rigged interface, its small light blinking steadily. Echo, muttering, engrossed, his voice filled with a begrudging admiration. She was good, Specter. Damn good. This stick? It's a digital ghost, designed to vanish the moment it's touched by the wrong hands. Encrypted 6 ways from Sunday, probably with a kill switch that would wipe it clean if Orion ever found it. They'd never crack this. He leans closer to the screen, his eyes narrowed, almost reverent. But Ghost, she left a back door, a digital breadcrumb trail just for me. Something only I, or someone who knew her intimately, would recognize. Smart girl. Too smart for her own good. His facial expression is a complex mix of admiration for Chloe's genius and a deep, quiet sorrow for her loss. Alex, his voice tight, strained with impatience and a desperate need for understanding, leaning in closer to the screens. What are we looking at, Echo? Cut through the jargon. Tell me something useful. Tell me why my team died. He sighs, a weary sound, and runs a hand over his bald head, leaving a streak of dust. Layers upon layers. It's a hydra, Specter. Cut off one head and 2 more grow back. Shell companies, dummy corporations, offshore accounts, all legal, all untraceable at first glance. All of it funneling into one central nexus. a grand scheme they call the Orion Initiative. And buried deep within it, hidden under a mountain of obfuscated data, a name. He pauses, his fingers hovering over the keys, his eyes widening slightly, a flicker of profound recognition. A name I recognize. A name that makes my blood run cold. Elias Thorne. Alex's breath hitches, a sharp intake of air that feels like a physical blow. Elias Thorne. The name echoes in the desolate chambers of his memory. Marcus's estranged older brother, a disgraced former military intelligence officer, brilliant but morally bankrupt, who supposedly vanished years ago after a major scandal involving leaked classified data. Alex remembers Marcus rarely spoke of him, and always with a grim, distant look, a shadow passing over his usually stoic face. The puzzle pieces begin to click into place, forming a picture of devastating betrayal. His voice barely a whisper, filled with a sudden chilling dread that washes over him like an icy wave. Thorne? Elias Thorne? Marcus's brother? His face pales, a mixture of profound shock and dawning horror, the world tilting on its axis. The personal nature of the betrayal is crushing. Nodding slowly, his voice heavy with the weight of this terrible truth, his eyes grimly fixed on the scrolling data. The very same. He's not just involved, Specter. He's at the heart of Orion's operations. The Orion Initiative isn't just about financial control or gaining influence. It's about a global-scale false flag operation, manufacturing chaos, destabilizing regions, then stepping in as the saviors, offering their security solutions to the very problems they created. Your ambush, it wasn't an accident. It was part of it, a calculated sacrifice, designed to escalate the conflict, to justify Orion's expansion. His eyes meet Alex's, grave and full of grim understanding, sharing the unbearable burden of this knowledge. Alex clenches his fists, his knuckles white, the raw fury threatening to explode. The betrayal cuts deeper than any wound he sustained. Marcus's own brother. This wasn't just a mission gone wrong. It was a carefully orchestrated scheme that cost his friends their lives. Orchestrated by family. The idea, the reality of it, is sickening. His voice low, barely controlled, laced with a raw, burning fury that vibrates in the air. He orchestrated this? My team? Marcus? He sacrificed his own brother for this? For profit and power? His jaw is clenched so tight it aches, his eyes burning with a cold, relentless fire that promises retribution. Looking grimly at the screen, his face a mask of bitter resignation. Looks like it, Riley. The evidence is here. It's damning. Enough to expose him, to bring down the whole goddamn structure, to unravel Orion from the inside out. But getting it out, that's the real challenge. He's got everything locked down, buried under layers of corporate and digital obfuscation. This data stick is just the tip of the iceberg. Standing up, his movements stiff but determined, a new fierce resolve burning in his eyes, hardening his entire demeanor. Then we unlock it. We find a way. For Marcus, for Chloe, for Liam. They deserve justice, and he deserves to burn. His voice is firm, unwavering, a vow echoing in the dimly lit hideout. Voiceover, grim but determined. A cold promise. The architect of the betrayal, the puppet master of chaos, is revealed. Elias Thorne, a ghost from the past, now a monstrous figure pulling the strings of global conflict. Specter's desperate fight for survival has transformed into a relentless quest for absolute justice, a battle against a deeply personal, deeply hated enemy. The game is no longer just about survival. It's about vengeance.
The truth, cold and brutal, is now laid bare. Elias Thorne, a ghost from Specter's past, a name whispered in hushed tones, is the orchestrator of the horrors that have consumed their city and claimed his team. Now, the path to justice is clear, a beacon in the darkness, but it is fraught with unimaginable danger, guarded by the very architects of chaos. Subscribe to the 5th act as we prepare for the ultimate confrontation, a reckoning long overdue. The gentle, persistent patter of rain against a distant, unseen window, a melancholic backdrop to their grim work. A soft, continuous electronic hum from the server racks, a digital heartbeat. The measured, deep breaths of Alex, controlled but heavy, betraying his inner turmoil. Days have passed since the chilling revelation of Elias Thorne's monstrous involvement. The air in Echo's hideout still carries the faint scent of ozone and despair, but now a new current, one of grim determination, has settled over the space. Alex sits hunched over a battered, sweat-stained tactical map spread across a makeshift table, meticulously tracing lines with a finger, his face etched with the gaunt marks of exhaustion and a simmering, controlled rage. His injuries are healing, but the wounds to his soul run deeper. Echo works quietly beside him, his gaze distant, lost in the screens, processing the sheer magnitude of the betrayal they've uncovered, the horrifying scope of Thorne's machinations. Alex, his voice strained, hoarse from disuse, but clear and unwavering, the words dripping with disbelief. He planned it all, every detail. The intel leak that drew us in, the compromised comms that left us deaf and blind, the specific ambush point. He knew our protocols, our fallback positions. He knew us. His voice thickens with a raw disbelief that morphs quickly into incandescent anger. Marcus trusted him, his own brother, for God's sake. His voice trails off, the enormity of the betrayal too vast to comprehend. Echo, his voice quiet, laced with a rare empathy, looking up from his screen. War changes people, Riley. The kind of power Elias Thorne craves, it corrupts completely. He isn't the man Marcus knew. He's a shadow of that man, driven by something twisted, something beyond normal ambition. He saw an opportunity in chaos, and he seized it. Consequences be damned. His eyes are sad, reflecting an understanding of the profound depth of Alex's pain, the betrayal of kin. Alex, looking up from the map, his eyes hard, pupils narrowed to pinpricks of fury. He sold us out. He sold his own brother out. For what? Power? Money? It has to be more than that. This isn't just about corporate greed. Echo, tapping a point on a complex digital map projected onto another screen, his voice grim. More than that. Far more. This Orion initiative, it's about absolute control. They don't just profit from the chaos, they manufacture it. The city's unrest, the escalating violence, the crumbling infrastructure, it was all deliberately inflamed. Your team's mission was designed to fail, to be a catalyst,
a spark to ignite a larger conflict, to justify their intervention, their humanitarian aid. It's all here, in the encrypted logs from Chloe's stick. Purchase orders for specific, high-tech weaponry that showed up at the ambush site. Shell company transactions leading directly to Thorne's personal accounts. Even comms intercepts between him and Orion's top brass, discussing Phase 1 objectives, all cross-referenced and confirmed. The digital trail is undeniable, Riley. He signed your death warrant. His face is set in a grim, unyielding expression.
Alex stands, pushing back from the table, pacing the small, confined space of the hideout. His body, though still bearing the scars of his escape, is healing, strengthening. But his mind is a maelstrom of grief, a burning inferno of vengeance, fueled by every piece of damning evidence. The air crackles with his barely contained fury. His voice low, trembling slightly with a tightly controlled fury, each word deliberate and sharp. We have to expose him, not just bring him down, Echo. That's too easy. We have to shatter his empire, show the world what he truly is, a monster in a suit, a puppet master pulling strings of war for profit. Make him burn in the light. His facial expression is a terrifying mixture of raw, unadulterated emotion and absolute, resolute determination. Echo looks at Alex, his expression suddenly very serious, the empathy giving way to stark realism. It won't be easy, Riley. He's shielded, deep. He operates from a fortress of data, a labyrinth of digital defenses, and people, loyal people, mercenaries. He's built his own private army within Orion. They will die for him, or kill for him without question. Alex, a grim, almost predatory smile plays on his lips, a cold, dangerous glint in his eyes, reflecting the dim light. Then we go to the source, the heart of the snake. Where is he, Echo? Where does he hide his deepest secrets? Echo points to a heavily guarded sector on the digital map, a shimmering, towering, pristine building that stands untouched, unnervingly perfect amidst the city's devastation, a stark monument to unchecked power. His voice filled with a profound warning, a caution born of experience. Orion Tower, his personal fortress, heavily armed, biometric locks, cutting-edge security systems that would make a military black site look like a kindergarten. Getting in is suicide, Alex. Getting out with proof? Impossible. His eyes fixed on the illuminated map, unblinking, unyielding. Nothing's impossible when you have nothing left to lose. And I have nothing left but vengeance. We hit him where it hurts. We get the incontrovertible proof, the one that makes the world see his true face, the one that brings down everything he's built. For Chloe, Marcus, Liam, for everyone he sacrificed, for this city, for the truth. His tone is unwavering, absolute, a solemn vow. Voiceover, escalating tension, a final, irrevocable decision. Orion Tower stands as a cold, gleaming monument to Elias Thorne's power, an impenetrable fortress hiding the ultimate truth of his treachery. But Specter, armed with an unquenchable need for justice, sees not an insurmountable obstacle, but a singular, vital target. The final play is set. The serpent will be unveiled. Orion Tower, the gleaming, unassailable stronghold of Elias Thorne, a fortress of steel and glass designed to keep the truth buried. But Specter isn't deterred. He is a ghost fueled by vengeance, and tonight a ghost will walk through walls.
Tonight, the hunter becomes the hunted, not just by unseen drones, but by the very shadows of his past. Don't miss this adrenaline-fueled episode. Subscribe to the 5th act to witness the impossible. The relentless lashing of rain against glass and concrete, a torrential downpour. The distant, low hum of the city, a muted thrum beneath the storm. The almost imperceptible scrape and whisper of stealthy footsteps on wet metal. The faint, muffled comms chatter, an urgent, disembodied voice in Alex's ear. Rain lashes down with relentless fury, turning the city into a blurred canvas of light and shadow. Alex, a dark silhouette against the gleaming, rain-slicked glass face of Orion Tower, scales the sheer, impossible height of the skyscraper. He is clad in salvaged, dark tactical gear, a second skin that blends him seamlessly with the storm-swept night. He moves with a practiced, almost unnatural grace, his grappling hooks biting into the reinforced seams of the building, securing his ascent. Each pull is a testament to his sheer will, his muscles straining, his breath a ragged gasp, yet silent as he climbs. Echo, miles away in the subterranean hideout, monitors the building's exterior sensors, his voice a hushed, urgent lifeline in Alex's ear. Echo, through comms, hushed, urgent, a crackle of static underscoring his words. Entry point Alpha secure, Riley. Surveillance cameras on this quadrant are cycling. You have a critical 30-second window before the next pass. Move, Riley, move! His voice is a desperate whisper, every word carrying the weight of Alex's life. Alex, whispering into comms, his voice ragged from the physical exertion, but firm. Got it. Heading for the maintenance shaft, Sector Gamma. Confirm it's clear. His grip tightens on his ascender, his knuckles white against the dark metal as he pulls himself up, muscles screaming in protest but refusing to fail. He slips through a discreet, almost invisible service hatch, a narrow slit in the building's facade, entering a claustrophobic labyrinth of ducts and conduits. The air inside is warm, almost stifling, smelling faintly of ozone and lubricants, a stark contrast to the cold, wet outside. He navigates the tight spaces with minimal sound, his movements precise, calculated, every scrape and rustle muted. He moves like a predator in its domain, utterly focused. He hears voices, muffled at first, but growing clearer as he approaches. 2 guards, their bored, resigned tones echoing in the hollow space. Guard 1, VO, bored, a world-weary tone. Another hour of this. Think Thorne ever sleeps? The man's a machine. Doesn't trust anyone to watch his golden geese. Guard 2, VO, scoffing, a cynical laugh. Only when he's counting his money. Keep your eyes peeled, though. Saw a rat on the cameras earlier, moving fast. Probably just a stray, but security's been twitchy. Alex freezes instantly, pressing himself hard against the cold metallic surface of the duct. His face is tense, a single bead of sweat trickling down his temple, despite the cool air. He closes his eyes for a split second, picturing the detailed layout Echo had provided, cross-referencing it with the sound of the guards' voices. He identifies a ventilation shaft directly above the guard's position, a smaller conduit leading to a rarely used storage room on their floor. A path, however narrow. He silently dislodges a grate, the metal groaning almost imperceptibly, and slips into the darkened storage room, landing with a soft, controlled thud on a pile of forgotten crates. He moves through the cluttered space like a phantom, senses on high alert, his hand instinctively going to the hilt of his combat knife.
He finds a service elevator, its dusty panel suggesting it's rarely used. Just what he needed, a direct, untraceable ascent. He quickly bypasses the security panel, his fingers dancing over the wires, his breath held tight. A faint green light flickers, indicating success. The elevator hums to life, a low mechanical groan, slowly beginning its ascent. The tension in the air is palpable, the only sound the gentle whirring of the archaic machinery. As it passes a specific floor, the doors suddenly, silently slide open. Standing there, waiting, is a figure. Tall, imposing. His face is partially obscured by the faint emergency lighting of the hallway. But Alex instantly recognizes the powerful build, the rigid military bearing. A chill runs down his spine, colder than the rain outside. It's a former colleague from his old unit, a man he once respected, Elijah Hunter Stone, a legendary operative, now seemingly loyal to Thorne. Elijah, his voice low, devoid of emotion, a flat monotone that cuts through the silence like ice. Specter, thought you were dead. A shame. Always admired your efficiency, your ability to get the job done no matter the odds. His facial expression is utterly cold, his eyes devoid of warmth, like chips of gray stone, reflecting unchilling emptiness. Alex's hand instinctively goes to his knife, drawing it with a whisper of steel against leather. His face is grim, a flicker of profound disappointment and betrayal, quickly hardening into raw anger in his eyes. This was supposed to be easy. Alex, his voice clipped, dangerous, a low growl. Hunter, what happened to you? Thorne's bought you too? Turned you into another one of his puppets? The accusation hangs heavy in the air. Elijah simply raises a suppressed pistol, his movement fluid, professional. The clicking sound of the safety disengaging is deafening in the profound silence of the elevator car. Elijah, his voice calm, almost regretful, a chilling lack of humanity in his tone. Orders are orders, Alex. You know that. Don't make this difficult. It doesn't have to be messy. His eyes hold a terrifying emptiness, a sign of complete, unwavering dedication to his new master, a man Alex now considers a monster. Voiceover, a pounding climax, leaving the listener breathless. Face to face with a ghost from his own past, a man he once called ally, now a loyal operative of Elias Thorne. Specter's infiltration has hit its first major snag, a brutal wall of loyalty and betrayal. Will he fight his way through a former friend, a man who knows his every move, or will his mission end here, in the cold, unfeeling steel of Orion Tower? The stakes are impossibly high. The moment of truth has arrived. Specter stands face to face with Elias Thorne, the architect of chaos, the man who sacrificed his team, his own brother, and countless others in his twisted pursuit of control. The very foundations of the concrete jungle will bear witness to this ultimate confrontation, a reckoning bathed in the harsh glow of vengeance and justice. Subscribe to the fifth act and prepare for the storm. The sickening thud of fist connecting with flesh, sharp and brutal. Grunts of raw effort, strained and desperate. The piercing shatter of glass, a cascade of fragments. Heavy, strained breathing, close and ragged. The distant rising wail of muffled alarms, a growing chorus of chaos.
Alex and Elijah Stone are locked in a brutal, visceral, hand-to-hand struggle within Thorne's opulent penthouse office. The once pristine room is a tableau of chaos. Overturned furniture lies broken, shattered abstract art pieces litter the plush carpet, and scattered confidential documents flutter like discarded secrets. Alex fights with a desperate, burning fury. Every punch, every block, every movement fueled by the memory of his fallen comrades, by the searing agony of vengeance. His eyes burn with an almost insane intensity. Elijah, by stark contrast, fights with cold, calculated precision. His movements economical, aimed to disable, not to kill, as per Thorne's presumed chillingly detached orders. He is a machine, devoid of emotion. Alex lands a powerful, guttural kick to Elijah's midsection, a sickening crunch audible even over the rising alarms. Elijah stumbles back, momentarily winded, his eyes flickering. Alex, gasping for breath, sweat pouring down his grimy face, his voice raw, desperate for an answer, a flicker of the man he once knew in his eyes. Why, Hunter? Why him? What did he promise you that was worth this? Worth betraying everything we stood for? Elijah, recovering with chilling speed, his face unreadable, a mask of cold emptiness, his voice flat, devoid of warmth. Order, Specter. He promised order. This world is chaos, a cesspool of unpredictable variables. Thorne brings control, absolute control. He lunges, a flurry of precise, disciplined strikes aimed at Alex's vulnerable points. His eyes are dead, almost robotic, a chilling testament to his complete indoctrination, to the void where his soul once was. Alex ducks under a swift hook, grabbing a heavy decorative vase, a priceless piece of ceramic, and, without hesitation, smashes it with sickening force over Elijah's head. The vase shatters into 1,000 glittering pieces. Elijah collapses, stunned, a low groan escaping him, but not out. Alex doesn't linger, doesn't waste a second. His eyes, burning with singular focus, dart to Thorne's private server rack, housed in a reinforced alcove, its light blinking with data. Alex, muttering, his gaze fixed on the server, a bitter sneer on his lips. Order? You call this order? You call this devastation control? He raises his elbow, bringing it down with all his remaining strength, smashing the thick security glass panel protecting the server. The shattering glass echoes loudly in the office, sharp and violent. Immediately, piercing alarms blare, a shrill, relentless shriek that slices through the air. Sirens wail from below, growing louder, signaling an inevitable swarm of security forces. Suddenly, a voice, calm and unnervingly detached, cuts through the cacophony of alarms and breaking glass. Elias Thorne, V.O., from the shadows, his tone chillingly composed, laced with a subtle amusement. Well, well, look at the ghost. Still clinging to obsolete notions of loyalty, Alex? How quaint. Elias Thorne, 60s, impeccably dressed even amidst the chaos, his silver hair perfectly coiffed, steps out from behind a large custom-built desk. He holds a sleek tablet, a live feed of Alex's current location displayed on its screen, a mocking testament to his omniscience. His expression is one of mild, detached amusement, an almost bored curiosity, utterly devoid of fear or surprise. He is a man in control. Alex, spinning around, his chest heaving, every breath a struggle, pure rage boiling over. Thorne, you sacrificed them. Marcus, your own brother? For this twisted vision of order? His voice is raw, laced with agony that quickly turns to searing fire, his facial expression contorted with both pain and uncontrollable fury. He chuckles, a dry, humorless sound that scrapes against Alex's raw nerves. Marcus was a sentimental fool, Alex, a relic from a bygone era. Sentiment has no place in a world that needs shaping, a world crying out for firm direction. You were all necessary casualties. Your mission was merely a spark, Alex. It ignited the unrest we needed to justify our intervention, our humanitarian support. A simple equation, really. Lives for progress. Billions for the price of a few. An acceptable cost, don't you agree? His eyes gleam with a disturbing messianic conviction, utterly devoid of empathy. Alex, advancing, his voice low, menacing, a dangerous whisper. You're a monster, Thorne, a goddamn monster. His hand goes to the data stick from Chloe, his intent crystal clear, a silent promise of retribution. Raising an eyebrow, an expression of amused superiority on his face. Oh, that little trinket. Chloe's final desperate act of defiance. Adorable. It won't matter, Alex. Even if you transmit it, even if you scream the truth from the rooftops of this dying city, no one will believe a lone rogue agent, a ghost from a decimated unit. My narrative is already established. I am the savior, the architect of a new world, not the architect of chaos. His smirk widens, confident, arrogant, utterly assured of his victory. Alex, snarling, his facial muscles tense, eyes burning with unyielding determination, an echo of his fallen team in their depth. The truth always finds a way, Thorne, and I'm going to be the one to deliver it. You won't escape this. Alex lunges, driven by pure instinct, by years of training, by the burning need for justice. Thorne, surprisingly agile for his age and build, dodges the first furious strike, but Alex is relentless. He grabs Thorne's arm, twisting, wrenching the tablet from his grasp with a desperate surge of adrenaline. Thorne snarls, a flash of genuine, ugly anger crossing his face, momentarily losing his cool composure. Alex kicks him back, sending him stumbling, then, with a final desperate surge of strength, slams the tablet into the server port, initiating the data upload. The screen on the server flashes green, a beacon of hope. Elias Thorne roaring, pure, unadulterated fury in his voice, his previous calm shattered. No! You fool! You'll damn us all! You'll bring everything crashing down! He scrambles towards Alex, desperation in his eyes, a flicker of true fear finally visible. But it's too late. The data is flowing, streaming out into the digital ether, a torrent of undeniable truth. Alex, bleeding and exhausted, looks at Thorne, his face grimly satisfied, a ghost of a triumphant smile touching his lips. His voice weak, but imbued with absolute, undeniable triumph. It's done. The world will know, and you'll burn. Voiceover, a momentous crescendo, echoing the triumph and the coming storm. The truth, raw and undeniable, streams out into the world. Elias Thorne's empire of lies begins to crumble, his carefully constructed narrative dissolving into dust.
Specter, the lone survivor, the last ghost, has fulfilled his oath, avenged his fallen comrades, and dealt a crippling blow to the heart of Orion Dynamics. But the fallout from this betrayal, the consequences of this high-stakes play, is just beginning. The concrete jungle is about to explode.
The truth, once unleashed, possesses the power to shatter even the most unyielding foundations. Specter's desperate, audacious act of defiance has ripped open a deeply buried conspiracy, exposing a serpent coiled in the very heart of power. Now, the concrete jungle, scarred but resilient, grapples with the fallout, the tremors of truth shaking its core. Join the fifth act for the final, poignant chapter of Concrete Jungle Fallout. Witness the dawn of a new, uncertain future. The distant, barely audible murmur of news reports filtering through thin walls, a low hum of voices signifying a world in upheaval. The subtle, persistent wail of far-off sirens, now less frantic, more like a city slowly trying to heal. The familiar, comforting hum of Echo's servers, a constant, reassuring presence. The quiet, almost imperceptible rustle of Alex moving, a sound of a body slowly mending. Days have passed since the high-stakes gamble in Orion Tower. The hideout, though still bearing the marks of their hurried work, scattered wires, empty coffee mugs, discarded wrappers, now carries a palpable sense of quiet accomplishment. The air, once thick with tension and the metallic tang of fear, now breathes with a faint, clean scent of resolution. News reports, streamed through Echo's makeshift satellite dish, flicker across a large monitor, their urgency now replaced with a sense of momentous revelation. Headlines scream across the screen, a triumphant chorus of truth. Orion Dynamics scandal, CEO Elias Thorne arrested. Evidence reveals plot to destabilize region for profit. Heroic rogue agent uncovers truth behind city's unrest. Each headline is a vindication, a testament to their desperate struggle. Alex sits, his body still a patchwork of bandages, but the deep aches have receded to a dull throb. He holds a mug of something warm, strong coffee probably, in his hands, its steam curling up into the dim light. He looks tired, deeply weary, but a profound peace has settled over his features, softening the harsh lines that vengeance had etched into his face. The grim set of his jaw has relaxed, replaced by a quiet, almost serene satisfaction. He watches the newsreel, a ghost of a smile playing on his lips. Echo, his voice weary but infused with a deep, quiet contentment, watching the triumphant headlines scroll by. You did it, Riley. You pulled the thread. The whole goddamn tapestry is unraveling. Thorne's empire is crumbling, brick by painstaking brick. He sips his own lukewarm, heavily caffeinated drink, a rare, genuine smile gracing his usually cynical lips, a testament to the magnitude of their victory. Alex, his voice soft, almost a whisper, a faraway look in his eyes as he stares at the flickering screen. It wasn't just me, Echo, not by a long shot. Chloe, her genius, her foresight to plant that digital breadcrumb. Marcus, his strength, his unwavering loyalty. Liam, his courage, even in his fear. They all played a part. Their sacrifice, it wasn't in vain. He watches the news reports, a faint, melancholic smile on his lips, a bittersweet acknowledgement of the cost. They deserved the truth to come out. Everyone deserved to know. Echo, turning to Alex, his expression thoughtful,
a different kind of intensity in his gaze now. What now, Specter? The world knows your story, or at least a version of it. They're calling you a hero. You're not a ghost anymore, Alex. The shadows won't hold you. What's next for the man who brought down Orion Dynamics?
Alex considers this, the question hanging in the air. He looks at his hands, scarred, calloused, still bearing the physical marks of battle and survival. He's seen the absolute worst of humanity, the depths of its cruelty and greed, but also the enduring power of truth, the quiet courage of those who fight for it. He feels different, lighter, the crushing weight of grief replaced by a newfound clarity. His eyes meet echoes, a flicker of something new in them, not vengeance, but a quiet, powerful resolve, a sense of purpose beyond retribution. I don't know, Echo. Not exactly, but maybe there's still a fight worth fighting. Not in the shadows, not for revenge, not for personal vendettas, but for justice. For those who can't fight for themselves, who have no voice in this broken world. For the victims of men like Thorne. His facial expression is one of newfound purpose, a gentle yet unwavering resolve. The ghost is becoming something more. A momentary silence settles between them, comfortable, filled only by the rhythmic hum of the servers and the distant, muted sounds of a city, slowly, painstakingly trying to heal its wounds. Nodding slowly, a glimmer of deep respect shining in his eyes, a rare warmth softening his features. Sounds like a plan, Riley. Just try not to get yourself killed next time, hero. The world needs good people, especially now. He gives Alex a rare, genuine smile, a conspiratorial glint in his eye. Alex manages a small, genuine smile in return, a warmth spreading through him. The concrete jungle is still a dangerous, unpredictable place, its scars deep and visible. But for the first time in a long, dark time, Alex Riley feels a flicker of hope. He's no longer just a survivor haunted by ghosts. He's a beacon, however small, against the darkness. The phantom has found its light. From the crushing depths of betrayal, a lone survivor emerged, driven by grief, fueled by vengeance, and ultimately guided by the unyielding light of truth. Specter, the phantom of the concrete jungle, ignited a spark that brought down an empire of lies. The battle against Thorne is won, but the fight for justice, in a world forever changed, never truly ends. This is not an end, but a new beginning. What new challenges do you think Specter will face as he steps out of the shadows and embraces his new purpose? And that concludes Concrete Jungle Fallout. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you loved this story, remember to like this video, leave a comment with your favorite moment, and most importantly, subscribe to the 5th Act for more thrilling tales of truth, courage, and the shadows where they collide. Until next time, stay vigilant.